quick disclaimer before I start this video. I do not have anything against women. I do not have anything against women's sports. And all of these opinions are just that, opinions that I have. You can interpret them however you want. I don't really care. It's up to you. Now, it is not quite a secret that the WNBA and the NBA have very large pay gaps in between their respective leagues. This is chiefly due to the fact that, how do I say this? The WNBA is trash at basketball. Now there's a certain group of people that can't quite comprehend this and believe that the WNBA should be paid more or equal to NBA players. Of course, many people in the past have tried to explain this to them in various ways, but they still don't seem to get it. So, of course, I've taken it upon myself to give them the dumbed-down Cliff Notes version. Now, let's take a very good look at this. Suppose there are two people, Timothy and Brenda. Timothy has a business where he basically does the same thing as Brenda. But here's the key factor. Timothy and his employees perform exceptionally at what they do. They give out top-notch quality products, and all their customers are very, very content. Now, Brenda, on the other hand, she doesn't have as many customers. Her employees don't perform as good, but, of course, her customers, the ones that she does have, are still content. Now, the reason I have given this analogy is because it's quite similar to the WNBA-NBA pay gap situation. You know, they both have content customers, but one has a larger amount and they do better at what they do, and the other also has customers who are content, but they just have a smaller amount and they're not as good as Timothy's company, of course. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't point out the fact that the WNBA has been operating at a loss ever since its creation. What this means is basically the WNBA is not pulling in enough money to keep itself afloat, which is, kind of the whole argument I'm trying to make here. Now let's take a look at what some WNBA fans have to say about this and why they think the WNBA player should get paid as much as the NBA player.
First rounder. I was a first rounder. And to see the stuff she's done on the court and in the community, she deserves that, man.
Now, let's take a moment to break down this guy's argument. He essentially says just because a WNBA player went to the same college that he went to during the same year and they're both first rounders, that means she deserves to be paid more, alongside the fact that she has done a lot of community work. Now, by this same logic, players like Steph Curry, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, Giannis Antetokounmpo deserve to be paid more too, because not only have they done community work in their own communities, but various other communities all across the country and across the world. Also, in case you didn't notice, this guy's argument had absolutely nothing to do with basketball, nothing to do with her skill or her talent in the WNBA as compared to the NBA. So I'm pretty sure we can render this guy's argument null and void.
And Vice President of the WNBA Players Association. Now, that's important. Now, all right, let's jump right in on what I mentioned her, Liz Cambage, who plays for the Wings, said last night after the game. All right, I think we have those quotes here because she said that her WNBA career going forward, she doesn't know if she's going to come back. She said, I've said this many times, the WNBA doesn't pay my bills. Playing here doesn't pay my bills. We make more money overseas. I'm ready to have next summer off and focus on getting a European contract where it's 10 seasons here worth the pay. All right, now you are the VP of the WNBA Players Association, and you guys have until October 31st to opt out of the CBA that you agreed upon with the league. Like, you hear what Liz is saying about pay. What are the players talking about as it comes to this October 31st deadline?
About 10 hours ago, I was actually having dinner post-game with Liz,
then.
and she was sort of alluding to some of these ideas. But people don't realize she's obviously an Australian national, so the WNBA is not necessarily her home like it is for us. But I think the idea is that the WNBA is the best women's basketball league in the world. Everyone wants to compare it to the NBA, but it's a league that stands on its own. But we're not compensated like the best women's basketball league in the world. There's China, there's Russia. My sister played in Poland. I played in Italy.
I'll spare you the pain of watching her talk over the rest of those WNBA clips, but I'm guessing you get the gist of what she's trying to say, which of course makes absolutely zero sense, but let's take a look at it. She says that the WNBA is a league that stands on its own, of course with help from the NBA, but we don't talk about that. And of course, she also makes a point that leagues of women's basketball in Russia, Europe, all over the world, or elsewhere in the world, get paid more than the WNBA. So you would think that the simple solution would just be to go there, go where they pay you more. But no, I'm not quite sure that common sense applies to these people, because I'm not sure if it has ever dawned on her that the reason that these women players in other parts of the world get paid more is because maybe the league is better than the WNBA, maybe they play better, maybe more people in those parts of the country like to watch the WNBA, and in that case, maybe that just makes it better. I mean, just because the WNBA is American doesn't automatically make it number one. And I'm pretty sure because of that, we can declare this argument null and void. Sorry that you don't make enough to support yourself, but maybe go somewhere where they're offering you enough to support yourself. That's the simple solution. You're just choosing not to take it and causing more problems for yourself, which is, of course, the motto of the WNBA. After watching some more WNBA clips of people arguing in favor of them getting more pay, I realized it would be insanely redundant to add them into this video, seeing as they make the same brainless, irrelevant points. What I do have to say at this point is, though, the sooner WNBA fans and players alike realize they are not good enough to command the pay that NBA players do, the better off it'll be for them. So, in conclusion, WNBA trash. More pay? Probably not. Maybe if you get better, we'll see. Thank you for checking out today's video. Definitely leave a like and subscribe if you like the content. And I'll definitely see y'all again in a later video.